Alright, allow me to set the scene for you. It's Monday morning. I wake up, I get some breakfast, I take care of some chores, I take care of the dog, and I start working on a video. And right around the early afternoon, it's already finished. So I have nothing to do. I feel kind of tired. I don't want to work on another video. So I decide to hop on Guilty Gear Strive after a little break away from it. So I play for a couple hours. A couple hours leads to 4 hours. And in those 4 hours that I've been online, I played against a variety of different players, ranging from Ram, Leo, I believe Milia, Giovanna being one of the most common culprits. Lo and behold, at one point, I match up against one Giovanna player. Unbeknownst to me, I match up against Rex Strider. If you don't know who Rex Strider is, then I'll link you his Twitch channel and I'll link you his YouTube channel so you can take a look at both of those. And I actually caught him in the middle of his stream. So I decided to match up with the guy. I didn't know he was streaming, I just assumed he was, and I started playing him. I think, cool, I'm gonna play up against a streamer. I've done that once before, I'll do it again. Who knows? Maybe it'll be a good time. I wanted to give my take on the events that happened in that matchup, because his side is already on Twitch and it's already in the replay. If you go 4 hours and 19 minutes in, that's the set we have together. We played 2 different sets. I just wanted to look at this together with you guys and just give you my take on what happened, how I tried to get through certain situations, and just what things I had problems with and what things I really felt like I did really great in or I need to improve on. So let's get this started. I don't want to take too much of your time. It's almost like 9 o'clock and I wasn't recording or anything, so I was just playing and I just came across him at one point. Didn't know he was Celestial, but I took into account what Gina said. Just Celestial doesn't mean shit, so I just go with it. I just took the match regardless of what happened. I see that no one's matching up with me and I see that he's already matched up, and I saw Giovanna. I was like, all right, let me match up against this guy. And then I actually saw his name and I was like, oh, okay, cool.
This dude's gonna be like, you don't get to jump. This dude has a big anti-air, and he is. If I traded him, if I trade at all, he hurts way more than I do.
Honestly, that is actually really true. Like, I swear to God, down heavy slash is my favorite button. Not exactly just because of the range, but because of how active that fucking button is. Like, I swear to God, I could snipe Jesus Christ from the heavens with that button. It's that damn good.
I journal Giovanna, have a dream.
I apologize.
And my dream is to rush down and not let them attack it.
By the way, Rex, just like how you have your Ultimate Edition skin on your Giovanna, even though we're both playing on PC, this is what it looks like on my screen for me. I have Biken's colors because, well, we're not gonna get Biken anytime soon, so we might as well. And you're wearing plaid green.
I shall start this by doing a low sweep.
The fact that he calls it out actually upsets me. But you know, we'll move on. That button is a problem. His multi-hitting buttons are the ones I look for in FDing.
Uh-oh. Oh no! This is gonna be pain. Bro, I cannot stop it.
Oh, you can stop it. The problem is that you're using buttons that are close ranged instead of just far range poking, which Giovanna doesn't necessarily have, but it's like, for the most part, I try to keep you at bay, which I'm doing right now.
What do I get to do?
If I don't have you in the corner, I'm essentially at wit's end. Like, you need to be far away from me. I don't want you near me. And if I'm gonna be near you, I want you in the corner and I want you to stay there. Just like now, like I tossed your ass into the corner. Okay, so that right there, I assumed he was gonna jump as soon as he saw me dash in along with my projectile, but the fact is that it just didn't work out for me. I will be honest, Giovanna does kind of intimidate me a little bit. Even as a Nago player, there are 3 things I knew going into this match, or 4 things if you want to count a technicality. Prior to this matchup, I just played a Giovanna player. I assume he was from the Eastern Hemisphere, and his Giovanna pretty much showed me that you can essentially oppress the fuck out of Nago Ryuki if you kind of just abuse the shit out of her plus frames. Granted, you can deal with it. I've managed to find out over time that he pretty much was just pressing buttons. He knew how to block, but for the most part, why would he? He's plus on block for most of the shit he was doing. That's the first thing. Second thing is that I need to use a lot of my meter to keep you off of me, which isn't usually ideal, but I have to. The third thing is the fact that if I let you build up your meter and I get hit too much, your defense increases, your damage increases, and your meter gain increases. Your character, by definition of the book, is a 1.03. That's pretty much relatively above average. When she gains 50 tension, which is half a bar, she gets a defense increase to 0.97 or 96, which means she's probably tied for the third best health in the game. The top 3 characters with the highest health in this entire game are Potemkin, Nago, and Sol, all in that order. And that's if you have half a bar of tension. You get a full tension bar, you are tied for the highest health alongside Potemkin. So that's disturbing in every regard, and I'm very scared every time I see that. The fourth thing that also scares me is the fact that my defensive options are weak against you. So I have to play a little risky to keep you the fuck off of me, or to keep myself on top of you. And I don't like that because my blood gauge limits that. But I'm not going to make excuses and say that, oh, my character was just weaker than yours or anything like that, because no, I went in there with the winner's mentality and I wanted to beat the holy shit out of your character. And that's what I was intending to do, regardless of who I was playing, whether it was Sol, Ram, Giovanna, or any other character. I decided to go with Nagoriyuki. He's my exclusive main. I'm going to play him whichever way it goes. GG's. That's all that matters. It's good games. We'll go from there.
I'm trading, but not in my favor at all.
Yeah, these trades are never in Giovanna's favor.
Dude, I'm not even like...
He jumped quite a bit to escape some pressure, and on top of that, I always try to fish out the air dash. Whether it was back or forward, I try to fish out the air dash whenever I could, because I didn't want Giovanna jumping in the air. I wanted her on the ground. So that's what I did. Anytime I was pushing him, I made sure that I down heavy slash, so that way I can push him further, because the pushback on down heavy slash is incredibly good. I get some blood back on block, and on top of that, I ground him because now he's got to recover and he can't do anything until then. That's where I took advantage and just started pressing him.
Dude, I traded all that and it hurt so much.
I failed the blue Roman cancel. He goes for the dust throw. I blue Roman cancel you right here.
What? You did it to burst? And
no, I didn't do it to burst, Rex. I'm pretty sure he didn't mean to say burst, but what happened was is that, I'm pretty sure you know this by now, but every Roman cancel has a purpose. Every single one of them has a slowdown timer. Red Roman cancel is mostly for combo extensions. Purple Roman cancel is to disrupt the animation and the recovery of one move that you have. So you say, for instance, you throw out the spiral arrow kick with Giovanna. You Roman cancel that and it essentially disrupts the animation. Now you're safe to block. Yellow Roman cancel, it's basically an alternative version of bursting. At the cost of meter, you can essentially push your opponent off you and you get the better end of the deal because you're plus on block. You're like +5 or something. So meaning you have the advantage in that situation. But it can be baited because there is a certain radius for every Roman cancel you do. If the radius misses your opponent, you can't do shit. You just have to eat it. You basically have to eat the combo if you get baited, just like with the burst. And blue Roman cancel, you can use this in neutral when you're not pressing a button. Press this against an opponent, your character is basically in limbo. They are much slower by comparison. That gives me plenty of time to hit a button that normally would lose or trade. That gives me more than enough time to press a button, but you gotta time it. In my case, I timed it against you properly right here. I felt like something was coming at me, so I just blue Roman canceled, and I was right to do so because you went for a multi-hitting low.
oh. I hate that. I hate that. That's the most I hate it used the most. Like when it's used to reset neutral instantly.
Here's the thing. I have to use the meter for this. Most of the time, and you're going to see this throughout the entire set we're playing, I'm not going to play every single match because I just want to go and look over some aspects of the game rather than just the entire 2 sets that we played. I had to use my meter for situational and defensive purposes. If I use the meter for combo extensions, that's just wasted meter for me. I see no purpose. My defensive options are weak against you. So I'm going to use that meter to benefit myself in situations where I'm normally in a bad way. And that's why for the rest of the set, you will see me use the meter against you to slow you down or to keep myself safe, because I'm normally minus on a lot of the things I do. I'm not a frame data king, but for one thing, I prefer to be plus on the shit I do. But I'm playing Nago, so I have to ride the struggle bus. So don't blame me for doing that to you. It's just how the game rolls. This is the smell of the game, if you know what I mean.
He's gonna beat my ass.
I tried to command grab him in this game, but it didn't really work out in my favor. Especially because the guy really didn't want me to be in front of him. You see, blue roaming cancel, the same as always. I do this to keep him as minus as possible. Oh yeah, I got screwed. I was gonna go into Blood Rage anyway, but he sniped me with that super. Oh yeah, this is the thing that pissed me off about the super. You are super safe on it. And the fact of the matter is that it crosses me up. I found that out with Kizzy, but god damn.
Oh my goodness.
See, this right here is what I mean. Anytime I'm in a situation where I feel like I can be at a disadvantage, I'm gonna blue roaming cancel you. Especially because you have buttons to kind of keep me at bay.
Oh, did you try to do something? Did you try to press buttons?
Yes, I try to command grab you, you prick. I was losing the ground game because of the blood increasing. If I keep it going too high, I could potentially lose regardless. But I'll give you that. You did think pretty quickly and you chose to press a button in a situation where a lot of people would just block. Especially after a knockdown right here. Normally when you get knocked down, especially by this button, you're normally not gonna wanna press anything. Normally, that is. Because I immediately inputted Fukio. If I chose to block, that's your ass right there. And I had a healthy amount of life left, so I could block the whole thing. I don't even have to FD. I could just block that, take a little bit of chip damage, and then I can just 6p your shit, and that would have been your death. I was gonna block, but then I saw you not pressing a button, and my blood gauge was going up. So I decided to go for the command grab. I gambled on something that could help me for the long haul, and I paid for it. Rex, you intelligent motherfucker, I'll give you that. Burst early because I don't want the corner on me. See, notice how he's jumping a lot. He jumps a lot with Giovanna, which, ideally speaking, that's kind of a good spot.
Bro, I hate this so much. That still hit me?
Yeah, it's active as shit.
I wish they had a little bit of armor on it.
On what button do you want armor on? You wanted armor on her spiral arrow attack? Are you kidding me? Rex, I like you and all, but if that had armor, I would physically hunt you down. Nah, dude. Believe me when I say, your character with armor on that spiral arrow would be fucking ridiculous. See, every time rounds start jumping, I always call it out whenever I can. Granted, I did the wrong extension. I was trying to... Normally, you would do the Beyblade move for that, but I didn't see it right there. This is what confused me. The fact that you did the extension, but he waited for burst. I would think he would have seen my burst gauge. I'm pretty sure he was looking for the burst, but he forgot that it wasn't filled up.
God, that range. Dude, everything's hitting me.
Right here in a corner, if I call you out on it, I either have to hit slash, poke you, down heavy slash, whatever. I can do whatever. Ideally speaking, if I stand right here, this is the perfect range for me. I missed this so hard. I choked when it came to the pivotal part of hitting down heavy slash again, especially because I blew a wind canceled, but it wasn't to be.
No!
His burst honestly saved him in this situation. If he didn't burst, it would have been over for him. And then I tried to anti-air him again, but he went for the super, so it definitely didn't work out for me. And I didn't know yet that you could dust throw this, so I wasn't aware of it, and I didn't think he would go for it either.
Little kicks. Meaties!
No, see, I'm calling him out on the air dashes. He's still falling for them, but not as much as he used to. But this is where I really turned things around. I actually had one of the coolest reads.
My foot was on his face and he's still able to get that off?
He honestly would have been safe if he just killed me right then and there during the animation, but instead he wanted to be flashy and take the super. I took advantage of this, saw him jumping, because I knew he was going to press a button at some point and jump in on me. I called out the wrong thing, but it ended up with the same result. Because right here, I buffered my super right here. So just as this animation was going through, I had already buffered my input. I called him out on a jump in, but he hit me with the super instead. It hurt me to do this to him, but you know, if you're gonna hit me with something flashy, I'm gonna hit you with the home run. See, I'm calling him out, but now he's changing his jump arcs.
There we go. There we go.
See, now right here, this is where the game starts to really slow down for me. Now he sees that I'm relying really heavily on down heavy slash. So he's just keeping the game grounded. It's what I want. But because of that, now it's getting to a point where now I have to focus on poking. But I relied so heavily on down heavy slash that I personally failed to adapt.
Hey, GG, Sir Kappa. That helped me out a lot because I don't need to fight more Nagos. I like the way you were trading with me, like, in the midway. Like, you were freaking catching me with them overheads and everything. It was making me really scared of everything you were doing. Don't want to trade with Nago. That hurts a lot.
I'll be honest, I appreciate the GGs. In my case, though, I don't suggest to base all your shit on the matchup with me. I will say that the one thing you definitely want to look out for is you definitely want to see the opponent's blood gauge every now and again, see where that's going, and then just pressure the opponent into needing to use a special move to get to you. Often you will see Nagos having to react to certain situations a little bit more carelessly, especially when it comes to in the case of Giovanna. I'm not a great Nago. I wouldn't even consider myself a good Nago. I'm a relatively decent one, but I'm not gonna toot my own horn and say that, oh, I'm fucking amazing. I just think that he is the only character I'll play, and he's the only character I devote myself to. Everybody else just feels like a shadow of what I can do for Nago. But more so, it's just that the character just fits me. I love the character. I love Nago's ability to special cancel into anything he wants. I just have a very tough time as a Nago main. Giovanna is a bad matchup for me. Not to say that I'm sure that it's a bad matchup in general, but for me, characters like Giovanna, Milia, Chip, and May are some of my hardest matchups, given how mobile they are and how much they can really oppress me. But I'm not gonna have an excuse and say that, oh, your character was this, and that. I'm just saying that these characters are characters I have trouble against, given the history of fighting games. I struggle against mobile characters when I play heavy characters, because that's just the gimmick. I have to take more risks. I have to do other stuff. That's just kind of the shtick, isn't it? Which is fine. I think the idea of Nago having slow moves is not a bad thing. You basically get rewarded for your patience. You get rewarded for making good reads. I got good reads off of you. I had a fun time. Your Geo outclassed my Nago, but I had a good time regardless. I put you at your paces. I would say that I'm proud of the performance I had. Could it have gone better? Yes, it could have. If I had adapted a bit more and started utilizing more low pokes or heavy slash, just standing heavy slash, things would have been better, maybe. But I'm not gonna moan and groan and bitch and complain. I lost. I'll take my L's with pride, and I'll move forward. I still had a very good time, and I thank you for being such a great sport as well, for not only giving the GGs, because that is one of the most important things in a fighting game, just being able to say good game at the end of the day. But also the fact that you also had a very good game. You had an amazing game, you played better than me, and I can hold my hands up and say good job. It is what it is. That's the only way to grow, to be able to acknowledge that you made mistakes that ultimately led to your downfall and somebody capitalized on them. And that's why I'm only going to get better. I'm not going to be perfect. I'm not going to be pro level, but I will say I'm not going to stop striving to be better at this game, especially because this game is new and the rollback is amazing. So I enjoy everything that I'm doing now. All right, well, thank you again, Rex. I hope you have a good time. If you liked this video, like, subscribe, click the bell notifications, and also give some love to Rex, man. Rex was a nice guy. He was a pretty cool dude, and I plan to play him soon and probably have a chat with the dude. So with that being said, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Signing off.